Recording in progress.
I love this.
What's that?
I love this.
I do too.
So cool.
I feel like my face is one of those big heads on a stick.
You kind of look like, why is my, it's because mine's sharper. You kind of look like an apparition.
Like a head on a stick.
Like
Okay.
Casper the Friendly Ghost. Oh my God. Okay.
Take a deep breath. Take a drink. All righty.
Start burping during the middle of this.
No, please don't.
All that carbonation, it gets to me.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. You ready, Freddie?
Ready? Yep. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the sixth component, where the sixth component is you. I'm Kaitlin.
And I'm Laura. And today.
And you go for it, Laura. You tell them what we're doing.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm just going to be honest. We're going to talk about the second challenge, which is last week we challenged Kaitlin because we want to be open and transparent and we want to be real with all of our friends. And so it's my turn. So here we go. I first of all want to say thank you to Kaitlin for opening up this Pandora's box, because the reality was it was kind of in a very realistic conversation of like, hey, we're challenging everyone in episode 1 and we have to be really thoughtful and honest, not only to ourselves, but to all of you, because like, this is a big deal. We can't expect you to do something without us doing something. And so that's really, season 2 is about like being real, being transparent, having fun, learning, learning this technology thing. So this is the hearth room. What do you think of it?
Fancy. I did say that Laura looks like an apparition. I don't know what's happening with our cameras, but it makes me really happy.
But I do think that your camera looks super clean and clear and crisp. Like, I feel like you're actually in the hearth room versus
I am in the hearth room, obviously.
Obviously.
Over here. This isn't even my that's not even my chair.
I don't know, but are you warm? Are you like sitting right next to the fire? I feel like we should have crackling fire.
Oh, that is my chair. Sorry.
I didn't know that that's your chair. That's funny. But I also think this is funny because I feel like I need to be one of those people at a basketball game with my head on a stick. So I feel like you could literally take my head and like cut it out and shove it on a stick, because that's what it looks like to me. So neither here nor there, like, okay, so and it's not that I wanted this to be fast, but I think this is just about being honest. And I do love your video from last week because it was real, it was raw, it was transparent, it was wonderful, and it's the truth. And so I need to be honest and open as well. And so the reality is like, Kaitlin, you have 2 children. I have 3 kids. So there was a period of time, probably a good 8 years of time, between the fact that I was either like pregnant, trying to get pregnant, nursing, or just getting over being pregnant and then getting pregnant again, if that makes sense. So it was probably a good 6 to 8 years, it felt like, because I nursed my babies for a really long time. And so basically, for those of you that have had children or going to have children, I'm sorry, because I don't want to scare anyone that hasn't had children to embark on this process, because it's a beautiful thing. And then they're like, our kids are like the most amazing things in the whole wide world. Don't you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Like, it's not about the success of our work. It's not about getting the diploma. It's not about the degree. It's not like all of the things that we basically worked really, really hard for, Kaitlin, I feel like, and then accomplished and worked hard and accomplished. Kids are totally different. But when you have children, they really, really absorb a lot of
time.
They absorb all of your time, like every ounce of your time, from morning, noon, and night. And so, my life in the last 10 to 15 years has been either growing children, nursing children, rearing children, bringing children where they need to be, and trying to make my work-life balance be, there's no balance. Let's be real. There's no balance. But a part of this is like, we want to be professionals. We want to grow and become the best version of ourselves. And we know that one of the best ways to do that is by reading. And So that's where I come to my challenge because
So what kind of books are you going to read, Laura?
well, they would be like, bettering myself, like professional development books, like not
Okay.
like I'm not reading like inappropriate books. We're talking like books about the book I'm reading right now is called Halftime, right? It's talking about moving from success to significance, actually. And this is the very first book. Here comes. You ready for it, Caitlin?
Mhm.
It's the first real book I've read in 15 years.
That's okay. That's okay.
So I listen to podcasts constantly, which is why we have the Six Components podcast on Apple Podcasts and
Mhm.
Spotify, because we know that working parents, whether you're a mom or a dad or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like we are trying to rush and run. And I listen to podcasts when I put my makeup on. I listen to podcasts when I'm in the shower. I listen to podcasts when I'm working out. Like I listen to podcasts, like that's what when I'm driving, when I'm commuting. So it's not that I'm not consuming content. I'm not. I'm always consuming content because there's so many great things that content creators are making and I love to learn from that, but I am not doing the foundational practice and I haven't been able to of reading because you know what that requires, Caitlin? What
What
does
is
it
there
require?
time? It requires time that you don't have. Okay, got a question for you. You do a lot of listening to things because it's easy, right? It's easy to
Right.
tune in or plug
Right.
in or whatever you do.
Right.
So when you say you want to read a book, are you going to physically buy a book and read it?
Uh-huh.
Or are you talking listening to these kinds of books on like Audible or whatever?
It's fair. It's a great question. I was thinking old school, like buy the book, read the book, and put notes and highlight in the book.
Ooh.
So I shared with you that I'm reading this book called Halftime. I got it for my 40th birthday. Now I'm over 40 at this point. So we'll just leave it there. We'll just let that lie right there. But I just cracked the book open. So my goal is maybe in a couple of weeks to share with you like what chapter I'm in. Like I'm talking, this is how bad it is. Like I'm talking like literally a page. Like if I can get just read a page a day, or like I can read a sentence a day, like that's how little time I have. And I truly mean that. Like I'm waking up at 4:30 every morning and I'm going to bed at 9:30 every night and I'm running. That's where my life is at right now because my children are sucking every ounce of it. Work is sucking every ounce of it. And I have multiple jobs.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have no bandwidth to read, and that's not fair to those people that I lead. But
Interesting.
because
I
what do you think?
It is because I'm very proud of you for a number of reasons. One, I hate reading nonfiction books, so I would not be successful in that journey whatsoever. But I do hear where you're coming from because we do a book study for our admin team at my school district, and a lot of it is skimming for me because I'm not interested. Not that I'm not interested in the content, but like you, I don't know. If I'm going to read a book, I'd rather have it be about something enjoyable and um, suspense filled or, whatever, just something that got a little more liveliness to it. But then I get on this thing where if I start reading a book, I don't stop. I can't stop.
That's
If it's a book that I enjoy. So like to the point where I'll stay up for the entire night and sacrifice a night of sleep because I need to get the book done. But
So like you're one of those people on Netflix that's like, okay, it's 11:30, but I'm on season 2, like video 3, and I need to I need to watch the next one. So like, is that
yeah,
you?
yeah.
So okay. Okay.
But I do think you're right, though. There's so much to learn from the books. And it's interesting in our book studies that we do because there are books where I will actually, like I said, a lot of it's skimming and main concept and whatever.
Yeah,
But I have found a couple of them that I've actually read the entire book. And I feel like it makes such a difference in, whatever the topic might be of the book. So we read one that was about diversity and just living in the times where there was no diversity. And it really opened my eyes to a number of issues that people experience every day that I feel like I've been fortunate enough not to have to experience. So I think there's a lot to learn from those kind of books. It's
for
just,
sure.
definitely going to be a challenge to find the time to do so in the interest. And so my one word of advice is if
Please.
it's not a book that you're interested in, don't waste your time on it.
Yeah. So similar to you, we're given books and I skim and write executive summary or get the cliff notes, whatever it is, just to get the be me and free me, right? Like help
Mhm.
me to understand what I need to know so that I sound articulate and appropriate in a conversation with the admin team members. But I know I'm missing a lot and I'm not a person to be me and free me. I want to do a work because, right? Someone took the time to buy the book. The district took the time to buy the book. The district, somebody had to coordinate that out. Somebody had to like get that to me. That was their labor. And so I feel like I'm shortchanging them and I'm shortchanging myself by not like fully engaging and like just jumping in with both feet. And so even if it's a not I totally agree with you, like, even if it's not a book that I'm necessarily, like, loving, I need to honor the person who thought about me to get that book, and to buy the book, all of those things, like, I feel like I'm not honoring the ask because
Okay, that's
I'm
fair.
not being 100% in it,
Mm.
and versus, like, a book that I would love and, like, wouldn't be able to put down, like, I've not had that experience for probably 25 years where, "Oh my gosh, I can't put this book down." No,
Yeah.
that has not happened to me because I've got dishes to wash, kids to run somewhere, emails that are stacking up. Somebody just texted me that they can't show up to work tomorrow. Like, there's just not enough bandwidth in the day to like for me to find that kind of book. So I'm just more like at this point, I'm like, okay, what are the books that I haven't read that I should have read in the last 5 years that I
Mhm.
was asked to read? And I need to honor that commitment to my employer. I need to honor that commitment as an administrator. And I need to honor that commitment to my professional development because that's what our sixth component is. My gosh, I'm like a bad person. Like I've already
You're
thought
not
about
a bad person.
bad
You're just like
person.
everybody else in the entire world that runs out of time in their day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think it counts if you I obviously this is your challenge, but if
Yeah.
it gets too hard to actually find the time to read the page or however you're going to quantify it, if you can
Yes.
look at the page, you're getting as much out of it as you would be if you were reading it. You
So
just can't go back to your notes necessarily.
right. Okay, so I heard you say the word quantify, which I appreciate. I think I can handle 1 page a day.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. I will do 1 page a day, and even if it's my husband has to read it to me. Listen, I
Because you're
like
making dinner or something. Yeah.
right, just somebody's supporting me in this process because I think that that's part of any type of challenge. Like I know your challenge is about not being late, my challenge is about reading. Like if it takes somebody to help to be that accountability partner and it's my spouse, you're going to have to come up with maybe it's your lovely administrative assistant, maybe it's her to help support you. You know what I mean? Like that is
Yep.
one thing we didn't necessarily talk about for you, but I will grab my spouse to help me with this. So who are you going to grab for yours from last week,
Good
dear?
question. Well, my admin assistant starts after I do, so that
Oh,
lovely suggestion, but
shoot.
yeah,
Okay.
that. I do have. Oh,
Why
sorry.
don't you text me? Like why don't you text seriously, like I can be your accountability partner. I'd be so like if that helps you on days that you don't have your person, text me here at 8 o'clock. Take a picture of you in your office. Click so that you can't cheat. You can't cheat.
And then you'll know when the text comes through too, because it has a timestamp on it.
I like this.
All
So
right. Well, you signed yourself up for
I
another
did. I am your accountability partner on a stick.
on a stick. Just have your. I'm gonna print off your head and put
Stop.
it in my office, and it's gonna
Stop.
say, "Laura says to be on time today."
Listen, I love this. I can't thank you enough for the idea that came from you to challenge our lovely friends in the sixth component world. And I think this is going to be fun. And again, as we hit season 2, it has been just enjoyable. And we want to continue this process to be fun and enlightening and lifting everyone else up. And then just being real and transparent so that you all can get better in the work that you get to do because guess what, we're human too. We just happen to be in black shirts in a hearth room today,
I
warm
know. We're
by the fire.
Last week we had, our own espresso machine and steam maker.
I know. I just love this stuff. So I can't thank all of you enough for joining us in our hearth room today. And again, just thank you for being willing to join us in our challenges. And your challenge will continue along just being with us. So just continue on the challenge with us. We'll continue to update you on our challenges. And we would love it if you could do the same on yours as well. So Kaitlin, anything
Yeah.
else you want to share? Anything else?
No, but I'm going to be interested to see how far you get in this book.
Okay. I love it. I will bring this back every couple of weeks to let everyone know where I'm at and how things are going in my reading challenge. So thank you everyone for listening and being a part of the sixth component. We can't thank you enough for your love, your time, and getting better every single episode. So bye. Bye,
Bye.
Kaitlin. Bye, everybody. Take care.